Screams from the Zamindar mansion staircase. A Bengali horror novel, in English. The mansion stood like a forgotten monument, Raigunj Bari, an enormous Zamindar house wrapped in vines and silence, deep inside the remote village of Sonajuri. Its decaying wooden frames groaned in the wind, and broken windowpanes stared blankly at the sky like hollow eyes. But what truly haunted the locals was the sound. Every night, just after midnight, a scream would echo from the staircase, sharp, womanly, and blood-chilling. Not a ghost story, they insisted. A curse. Long ago, this house belonged to Zamindar Harinarayan Roy, a man feared more than respected. He lived with his beautiful young wife, Rani Damayanti. The villagers used to whisper about her sadness, about her secret love for another man, a poet named Ravi, and how the Zamindar had found out. They said he dragged her by the hair one stormy night, up the grand mahogany staircase that spiraled like a serpent through the heart of the mansion, and pushed her from the top. Her screams had not stopped echoing since. No one lived there anymore. Not after the last caretaker was found muttering nonsense, stuffing cotton in his ears, and scratching at his neck, repeating, "The stairs, she's still falling, before he disappeared into the forest and was never seen again. No one dared to go near, until Saurav Mukherjee came. A 35-year-old history professor from Kolkata University, Saurav had inherited the mansion through a family line so distant he had only learned about it after a lawyer tracked him down. Curiosity was his disease. Against the villagers' desperate warnings, he arrived at Sonajuri with a suitcase and a notebook, determined to uncover the truth behind the ghostly legend. From the moment he stepped through the arched entrance of Raigunj Bari, he felt it. A pressure. As though the air had been frozen in time and wrapped tightly around the house. The inside was worse, cobwebs like veins, portraits with eyes scratched out, the faint scent of burnt incense lingering as if someone had just tried to ward off something not meant to be disturbed. But nothing stood out more than the staircase. It rose from the floor in a wide curve, its wooden banister etched with faded floral carvings, blackened with age and something darker, something like old, stubborn blood. Saurav stared at it too long, until a creaking step startled him back to reality. That night, he set up camp in an upstairs bedroom. Around 2 a.m., he heard it. The scream. Long desperate. A woman's voice filled with agony. His blood turned to ice. The walls seemed to absorb the sound, then amplify it. He leapt from bed, heart racing, and rushed to the door. Silence. He tiptoed to the staircase. It was empty. But then came the sound of footsteps. Slow, heavy, deliberate. Coming down. He saw nothing, just the groan of each step under an invisible weight. Then, another scream, closer this time. He locked himself in the room and waited till dawn. In the days that followed, he studied the house's documents, old letters, and photographs. Harinarayan Roy's journals were filled with rage and paranoia. Saurav discovered hidden notes, angry scribbles about betrayal and shame. He found a photograph of Damayanti in a white saree, her smile unsure, eyes looking away. Rumor confirmed she had loved another. When Harinarayan found out, his pride could not take it. The truth bled through the pages. One stormy night, in a blind fury, Harinarayan had accused her on the very stairs. They fought. He struck her. She tried to flee. He pushed her. Her body fell, spine cracking, limbs twisted, but she didn't die immediately. She screamed for hours. And no one came. Harinarayan buried her in the garden beneath a neem tree and told everyone she had run away with her lover. Saurav found the tree. Old, dry, dying. Beneath it, the earth was uneven. He began to dig, hoping to find her bones and give her peace. But as he struck deeper, the ground grew soft and dark. like wet blood. He dropped the shovel and ran. That night, the scream was louder than ever. But this time, it was followed by something else. A whisper. "Push him, or he will push you," it came from behind him. He turned and saw her. Damayanti. Her face was torn down one side, bone showing through delicate skin. Her eyes were deep, endless wells of pain. Her white saree was soaked in crimson, her fingers long, bruised, twitching. She stared at him, and in a voice like cracking glass, said, "I'm still falling every night, and he still watches." Sora fell back, gasping. He began to lose time. Some nights, he'd wake up on the staircase. Once, he found red marks on his hands, as if holding someone down. The mansion had begun to rot faster, as if Damayanti's torment was infecting the house. Desperate, he brought a tantric priest from Birmingham, who performed ancient rituals for hours. But the air turned thick with rot, and the scream returned with fury. The walls bled. The priest was flung across the room, his neck twisting unnaturally. He died with his mouth wide open, eyes white with terror. Now alone, Sora realized there was only one way. He dug up her skeleton, wrapped it in white cloth, and placed it at the foot of the staircase. Then he poured kerosene across the floor, across the railing where her hand must have clutched in desperation, and set the house ablaze. As the fire consumed Raigunj Bari, the screams rose with the smoke, louder, shriller, unbearable. He thought it was over. But it wasn't. To this day, when the wind howls through Shonaguri, people say the scream still echoes. From the ashes. From the staircase that no longer stands. From the ground that remembers. They say Damayanti still falls. Over and over again. And her scream never ends.